When you go through something as severe as depression and you're an empath, you have to understand that no one is ever going to understand you. I do not care if it is one of the most intelligent people on this planet. If they don't have some sort of like spiritual intelligence, no one's ever going to understand you on the depth that you want to be understood. This took me a very long time to understand, and honestly, I only learned it about 2 years ago and really started implementing that in my own life this year and as of kind of recently. I've been off social media for like a week or so, probably a little bit more, because I've needed to relax. And before I would have been freaking out, but now I understand that we create our own reality, we create our own suffering, and I do believe that people in general have to suffer in order to grow. Going through this depression and being obsessed with mental health because I have to physically understand why people do what they do, because I had to understand why things were happening to me, why I was being rejected by society, why nobody was ever wanting to be my friend or to be close with me, or people would be close with me and siphon my energy. It was a lot to deal with, and it was a lot of confusion, and just I feel like everybody else got the playbook to life and I didn't. And once I started diving more into Carl Jung's work, a little bit of Freud, a lot of philosophy, I started to realize very quickly that I have one of those brains that no one's ever gonna understand me, and that's okay. And honestly, it's right where I want to be. I've had a lot of synchronicities happen, and people will look at me and be like, synchronicities? Like, if you get it, you get it. You're on the right path. We create our realities. Psychology and philosophy have a lot more to do with life than what people would assume. And I'm realizing through forensic psychology as well that there needs to be more studies, more research, more of an emphasis on that shadow self of people's personality, like what Carl Jung talks about. We do know about forensic psychology. We've known since the 70s, but we really don't know that much. And I feel this huge pull to start studying forensic psychology, which obviously I am. I'm almost done with my master's, but to really, really, really dive deep into it. And I just feel like there's more that we need to say. Mental health is such a big aspect of life. It's quite literally what runs our entire reality, and people want to ignore it. I do not believe that we would have as much crime or as much psychopathic tendencies, etc., if we just saw one another and took the time to be vulnerable with one another and talk, speak, really analyze yourself in order to understand others. This is a big aspect that, some might already know, but it's been really hitting me like a freight train lately. Like, I've known the information, but when you can know something all day long, but until you know it's not going to hit the same. It's not going to be the same as if someone's just regurgitating information. And I feel like that's what I've been doing for the past year, is just regurgitating information that I know instead of letting you guys really see my inner thoughts, because being vulnerable is scary. And now I'm to the point where I thought I didn't care before, but now I really realize I don't care. And it's not in a negative connotation of like, I don't care what you think about me, but if I were to care, or anyone else were to care on the planet, what somebody else thought about them, then no information would ever be sought. And I just feel as though forensic psychology is one of those aspects of psychology that gets undermined and underlooked at so hard, when we need to be bringing that more so into more curriculum and talking about it, because people really love to say that other people are crazy, they do this, that, the other, they're so different. They're really not. Carl Jung, or was it Carl Jung or Freud? I think it was Freud, talks about the ego, the superego, and the id. And these are some aspects that I want to get into more. I'm getting ready to go on the VA, so I can't do it right now, but we definitely need to start talking about the ego, superego, and the id, especially the id and the ego, because the ego will ruin your life if you let it.